Hey, how's it going, everybody? If you're new here, welcome in, and if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And no, you did not click on a pre-recorded video. We're live. If you're watching this in the future, that means that I was live and now I'm not. Check for the red live button. It'll tell you if you're here in real time or not. So today is a really exciting day for me, and I'm going to get into why. First and foremost, as you pile in, make sure that you help me out with a like, because that helps let people know that we're here and that we're talking about stuff. Most notably, you may have noticed the banner. It's the countdown to 1,000 subscribers, baby. Yes. Gosh. And I do want to talk about that a little bit. So forgive me if I bore you with this, but back at the beginning of June, I had a goal when I made this channel. My goal was 1,000 subscribers in 12 months. And if I could hit that goal, then I'd keep the channel alive. I'd keep pouring time and money and effort into it. And, you know, life would be good and we'd continue on. But if I didn't, then I would understand that the time commitment wasn't working and it wasn't worth it, and neither was the money commitment. And I just continue as, you know, your everyday enthusiast. As of next month, so I'm trending at the moment to hit 1,000 subscribers early to mid-December. Right now we're at 917, and by the time we get there, at this pace, I could hit it this month. I could hit it early to mid-December. That's going to be about 6 months ahead of schedule, so that's pretty crazy. Hey, looks like we got Nick H in the chat. Nick says, congratulations, less than 100 till 1,000. Thanks, Nick. Oreo Dave, hey, how's it going, man? He says, good evening, my good man, almost 1,000. I am so stoked about this. It's validating to see efforts put in that people actually enjoy. You know, I imagine that if I didn't make content that at least some people enjoyed, that I wouldn't be getting close to my goal. The reason why I set 1,000 subscriber goal is not actually because of monetization, because I don't know if you guys know this, but channels at 1,000 subscribers don't typically make a whole lot off monetization. It was just the first real indicator I could use to see if it was working, to see if people actually enjoy the content, and it turns out that people do. So I'm really excited about that. Today, I didn't want to just talk about that. I wanted to do our regular thing. We're going to scroll through some new releases. We're going to scroll through some pre-orders. We're going to talk about gear. We might do an Instagram dive. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how the night goes and how many people pop in and say hi. On top of that, I did want to talk about how everyone can enter for the giveaway. So I didn't put any instructions at the bottom of this video because when it saves, I don't want a bunch of bots to go in and start commenting and stuff like that. I don't want to set off those alarms. I'm going to leave the instructions officially in the live giveaway video that I do after we hit 1,000 subscribers. But for those of you who are here live, do what you're already doing. Leave a comment on this video after it saves onto the channel, because that's the video we're going to use. This is the video that we're going to use to count and do the raffle. It's not really a raffle, but that's what Comment Picker calls it. But that's what we're going to use to do the drawing. It's the rules involved. Got to be at least 18 years or older. No kiddies. Got to know your local knife laws. I don't want to send you something that's going to get you in trouble with the local police. And on top of that, it's got to be an address here in the United States. Once it gets to that address, it doesn't matter if it gets forwarded out of the country. So if you're someone that's watching internationally, and we do have some international people in the audience, find me an address to send it here to in the States, and then have whoever is at that address forward it to you in whatever country you're in. I don't want to play games with customs or to tell someone they won and then not be able to get them what they were looking for. So if you live out of country, get me a forwarding address here in the United States. We'll be gravy, baby. All right. Marcos in the chat says, be up. Hello, brother Jason Brown, and welcome forever. Hey, Marcos. Good to see you, man. Guys, so aside from that, I've been working on putting together some communications with some local companies and crevices in the knife community. So I'm looking at doing more than just some knives for the giveaway. I'm going to look to add in other things as well. So we'll just see how that goes. I do have 3 knives picked out right now. I'm not going to reveal them at this moment. I'll reveal them during the live, and there will be 3 winners. I've never done a multiple winner giveaway before, so I'm excited to include as many people as I possibly can. Gone Awry in the chat, he says, I love gravy. Man, me too. If you don't love gravy, I don't even know. I can't help with that. Biscuits and gravy, come on. Biscuits and gravy all day. I could probably eat that at any time of the day and be good for like the next several hours. It's fantastic. So in the chat, if you're watching live, go ahead and pop up with what a pocket check would reveal right now. What are you carrying right now? What did you carry today? What did you wish you were carrying? Hit it up in the chat. Papa Rhino says gravy is just food lube, man. Yeah, but it's the tastiest food lube. Today my carry was this guy. I'm playing with it now. My wrist muscles are getting so strong because this doesn't feel like it weighs, like half a pound or whatever. This feels like every other knife now, but it's almost 12 ounces. So apparently doing this all day with this knife is a good way to build some strength in your wrists. I don't know how that's going to work with arthritis later on in life, but we'll see. The other knife that I carried today was actually this Bestech Ornetta, and shout out to Kombu, by the way. Kombu, also known as Gregor's Grabowski, and I know I butchered that. One hell of a knife designer. Dude puts some serious thought into his designs, and I would love to start a Kombu collection because I haven't picked up a knife that he designed that I didn't like. And this one is solid. Next to something like the Thunrar, it's easy to fit in the pocket. It's easy to go ahead and add to your carry. It looks good with everything. So if you're trying to do some Instagram shots, this is the knife. Hey, we got, oh boy, here comes the chat. Papa Rhino says, Concept Fenrir and my Dogwood Custom Chef's Knife. Nice. Nick H is carrying the Vero Axon Liner Lock. That's a good one. Hormones Matter in the chat. He says, Off-Grid XL. Overbuilts are what I'm looking for these days. Customizable blades is where we need to go. I couldn't agree more with that. And I'm going to dig into my case, which you guys can't see. I'm going to have to work on getting that. But man, modifying knives to fit your preferences is the best thing ever. This knife was the first knife that I ever modified, and I went ham. Man, did I go overboard. So here we go with the list on this knife. And I don't know if you guys have seen the video I did on this or not, but obviously Flytanium scales that were custom engraved by DNA Lasering. I've got the 5x5 Combat Solutions pickpocket, which is not really a self-defense thing for me. It's more of an I'm lazy, and sometimes I just want my pocket knife to be deployed when I pull it out of my pocket. I did a Pacific Suns titanium pocket clip. And yeah, that's it. But I absolutely love this theme. And my only regret, the only regret that I have with this knife is that now that I have so many knives coming in for me to check out, I don't get as much chance to actually carry this knife anymore. So it's been living in my case. Tom Brown says, I like that Ornetta. Man, the Ornetta is sweet. And I'll tell you something. When I saw pictures of it beforehand, I wasn't that impressed with the pictures. This is a knife that you have to feel in the hand. And once you do, you start to notice the little things. And I'm going to see if I can get it up nice and close there. You can't really see it on camera. The grind lines. Now, grind lines are one of those things that some people really like and some people don't. But it actually has this really neat worn texture and finish. Like, you don't really feel the grind lines, but you see them. And it's kind of like, getting pre-stressed jeans, which I think is still a thing. But the little details on here is making me really fall in love with this knife because it's just great. The contouring and the handles, the feel in hand on this guy is absolutely fantastic. And I've been carrying it because I'm putting together my thoughts for Grail or Garbage to see just how high I'm going to score this one. I'm trying to be conservative, but also just follow my gut on these things because at the end of the day, it's all about finding the right words for the right context and giving it a score that's fair, not just for me, but for everybody. And so I try to take all of that into account. And the Fuller, by the way, favorite deployment option ever? Fuller, all day. If there was a knife and the only option it had for deployment was the Fuller and there was no flipper tab and there was no thumb stud or anything, I would probably be okay with that. It's my most preferred and most used method of deployment. It's a little bit of weight relief, helps with the balance on the weight between the blade and the scales. What's not to love? Glassy says, do you still have love for your Para 3? Hell yeah, man. Oh my gosh. Listen, the curse of having a lot of knives is that you don't get a chance to carry as many knives as you want to. You know, like I've got plenty of knives. I only have 2 pockets. It makes me kind of want to start carrying fixed blades, you know, because then I could at least attach them to my belt, and from there I could put whatever I want in my pockets. That's the nice thing about fixed blades. Sheaths, belt, and waistband carry, it's the way to go. But funny thing about fixed blades is that people freak out. It doesn't matter how big the folding knife is. So I live in Denver, right? It doesn't matter how big the folding knife is. People see that it's a folding knife. Could be this knife. And they're fine. And they don't care. They're fine. It's a folding knife. But the moment I bring out the smallest fixed blade, all of a sudden, I could be a psychopath. I don't know why it works that way, but people have a thing about fixed blades. It's insane. Insanity. I could do more damage with something like this than I could with any of my fixed blades. Like, and this guy is massive, but people see that it's a folding knife and they're like, don't care. Papa Rhino says, Broncos fan? Absolutely. You know, I'm not that big into football this year, primarily because I care about my sanity, and the Broncos are not doing that great. But yes, I grew up a Broncos fan. Got to be a Broncos fan. Tom Brown says, my only combo is the Best Tech Irida. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm going to go ahead and switch it over here real quick to the web view. So we can all look at the Best Tech Irida. Because I've heard of this knife and I've seen this knife before, but sometimes you got to have some context for it. Oh, definitely. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. And it looks like they have some different versions. This one is the milled G10 handle scales, 14C28. It's a decent handle scale material. It looks kind of like this guy. Interesting. No deployment hole. It's all Fuller. Flipper tab. Looks like some good contouring on those G10 scales. And at least this model is not terribly expensive, $90. Let's see what else they got. Best Tech Rita. All right. See if I can find a more expensive version. Nope, they're all about $100 or less. Here we go. This one is carbon fiber in G10. That looks crazy, man. Carbon fiber and G10. I wonder if that's peel ply. I gotta check this out. Horizontal lines. Hey, this is definitely one to keep your eye on for sure. And it looks like they're on sale. Black Friday, by the way. What kind of craziness is that? Part of me wants to hold out for Black Friday. Part of me doesn't. But I don't know. We'll see if there's any good deals on Black Friday. I might have to make room in the budget. All right. And let's see here. Papa Rhino says, go Chiefs. Man, I think your Chiefs are doing better than my Broncos this year. Hormones Matter says, Avalanche. There we go. I'm not really a hockey guy. I got to be honest. But they are the local team. So, got to support. Honey Bear in the house. How's it going, Honey Bear? Tom Brown says, nobody knows how it's pronounced. And I'll add on to it. Nobody knows how it's pronounced, but it's provocative. It gets the people going. If you know that movie, if you know, you know. Nick H says the Buvaya looks nice. It does. And you know what? For me, this is one of those designs that I'm not necessarily 100% sure on because it looks blocky. I've seen people give it good reviews. The blade shape looks cool, and the original custom from Kombu looks cool. I absolutely love that, and I just realized that I don't have it pulled up. There we go. So it looks a little blocky to me, and I'm wondering, I'm just going to eyeball this real quick. I'm going to say that this probably weighs somewhere in the 4 to 6 ounce range. Yeah, 5.2 ounces. So as far as normal everyday carry goes, it is on the heavier side, but it's all titanium and blade steel, and it's a good amount of it too. Drop point, dark bead blast, frame lock, ceramic ball bearings, good to see. But you know, for a $339 price tag, it's got to have those premium materials. Otherwise, it's just not justified. So there is that. All right, so Tom Brown says, mine is the red black carbon fiber and G10 version of the Arita. We're going to call it the Arita. I'm bad with pronouncing sometimes. Mike Reese says, everyone have a good night. Boo, let's go Caps. All right. Tree Stabbing Troy in the house says, hi, everybody. Skull Vikings. Absolutely. All right. I think we're talking about football here in the chat, which is crazy because I'm actually a big basketball fan. I'm more of a basketball guy than I am a football guy, if I'm being completely honest. I have love for my local Denver Broncos. I used to watch back in the days of John Elway. I was just a wee kid, but those were the days. So let's go ahead and talk about some news in the knife community. Why not? In case you've been living under a rock, the Winter Blade Co. Mirage is on pre-order tonight during this live stream. The Mirage is on pre-order. And I want it. And I want it bad. However, I don't have unlimited funds. So I kind of have to choose between the Best Tech Mirage or the Sparrow Knife Co. Production Strix, which I'm kind of leaning towards this guy because after Greg Schaub releases this, he's going to do the pre-order, and that's it. He's not going to order extra to do anything official on his website. It's pre-order only, and then he's never doing another one. So if I miss out on this, I'd be stuck looking at the secondhand market, and I guarantee there's going to be some markup on that. I mean, just look at that. I'm almost sounding like Bees Blades here. Would you look at it? Just look at it. Shout out to Bees Blades. Fun channel to watch. Here's the heartbreaking part is that the one that I really, really want is this one here in the middle with the Damasteel blade, Timascus pivot collar Timascus backspacer, but that one is $680. Production knife. That's kind of getting into the something obscene co level pricing, but I get it. I totally get it. I mean, Damasteel, Timascus, makes sense. But that one is absolutely sexy. So I will probably end up going with either the full titanium or the titanium with carbon fiber. I think both of those could be straight money. I think that if these pictures are accurate, it almost looks like the grind might be smoother, like we get a smoother stonewash finish, maybe stonewash matte finish on the carbon fiber version. He's got descriptions down here. I'd probably be best suited just to look at these. Let's see. Yep, blade finish, stonewash, bead blasted, titanium handle scales. So yeah, so the full tie one is going to be more of a satin, like a hand rubbed satin. It looks like probably belt satin, I imagine. And then the one with the carbon fiber looks like it's going to be bead blasted on the titanium handle scales and then stonewashed on the blade. That just looks sick. It's like it's a harpoon style sheep's foot Wharncliffe. It looks great. The custom versions of these also look fantastic, but I don't have that kind of money. All right. I'm going to catch up with the chat here real quick. Looks like we got Brent Luna in the house. Says, after shipping and insurance, Mirage was $374, and I think the Strix is a must as well. Listen, I would just get both. If it was that easy, I would just get both. Because here's the thing, even though the Mirage is not one of those that's going to go away, unlike the Strix, where the Strix is one of those where once the pre-order's over, either you got one or you're shit out of luck. With the Mirage, he's probably going to do a release on his website, but that could take months. Brian from Winter Blade Co. is known for taking like 6 to 8 months to get stuff finally on his website after doing pre-orders and such. So I don't necessarily know. And I tried to get in on the factor drop. I was there at the second the factor dropped. And I zoomed into my cart and I clicked through. And I'm telling you, within a minute, my computer was froze up. The website froze up. I refreshed the page and they were all gone. All gone. And I was there. I mean, that was heartbreaking. I was there. Matthew Russell in the house. How's it going, Matt? Honey Bear says, ouch, that's rosy money. That's another knife I'd like to get my hands on, I'll tell you what. Oreo Dave says, my wife said no to the Mirage. It's going to happen, man. Let me tell you something. If it wasn't for my better half, I would have made so many more dumb financial decisions. Because like I look at things like this and all common sense goes out the window. What little there was to begin with. And so I'm glad that I have somebody that keeps me grounded. Everyone needs someone like that in their life. If we were just surrounded by enablers, you know, we'd live in a cardboard box under a bridge, but we'd have a ton of nice knives. Something that I consistently have to remind myself all the time is there will be more cool knives, and I can guarantee it. So whatever you miss out on today, you could be in luck for something else in the future, and it might be even better. It's hard to tell. Hungry Bird says, just look at it, man. Would you look at it? Just look at it. It's not my punchline. Yeah. Man, I can't keep up with the chat because y'all are talking about sports. right. Ghana Rice says, I'm single, so I work and I spend. Hey, you earn it, man. You earn it. You are your decision maker. Gosh. By the way, how does the lighting look? I've been working on getting my lighting right. I've been working on getting my audio better. I've been working on a lot of different production quality to get the quality of the content up. And I'm no videographer. I can watch YouTube videos with the best of them. But you tell me, how's the production looking so far? Is this something that's working out? Do you guys like it? Do you hate it? Let me know what you think of the recent production quality. Oreo Dave says, cheers to our wives for saving us money. Dude, we need it. When I buy things, I don't buy from up here. I buy from down there, and that can be a dangerous habit to get into. Ghana Rice says, notice I didn't say I was smart. Give yourself some credit, man. You don't know. What else do I have in the case today? Oh yeah. Update on the Strider. So you might notice those grind lines are looking a bit steeper than they were before. That is not the custom edge bevel for a Strider AR-75. I took Neve's Knives advice. I hit him up in his last live stream and I said, hey man, what edge bevel degree per side do you suggest for a Strider AR-75? Because this thing factory sucked for cutting. And I know there's going to be some Strider fans out there that said, hey, that's a hard use bevel. That's so that you can really beat on it and it'll maintain that edge. Well, it doesn't have much of an edge to maintain. It was just thick. The edge bevel was kind of like the geometry of a hatchet. And, it would cut through stuff, but not well, and not for my uses. And because of how thick it was behind the edge, I knew it was going to be a bit of a task putting that on there. So what I did was I didn't go full Neves on this thing because he told me to do 15 degrees per side, which is super thin. And I brought it down to 20 degrees per side, and then I left the Tonto edge at 25 because I think on a Tonto, you want to have a bit thicker of an edge there because that's the part that's going to be stabbing and prying into whatever you're using that for. The flat is what you're going to use to slice. So it makes more sense to have the flat as a more acute angle than the Tanto edge. And you know what? I think it looks great. I know there's going to be some Strider fans out there that are cursing my name for this, but I can't have been the first person to do a reprofile on a Strider. The only thing is that the job's not done. I've got gunny juice that's supposed to be here as of tomorrow. So right now, I just dropped, I did a 320 grit down to 600, then to 2000. And now I'm going to wait for that gunny juice to come in because I got the 1 micron. I did strop it with white stropping compound, which I'm not necessarily sure where that's at, but the gunny juice is supposed to do a really good job of polishing without leaving scratch marks on the bevel, which should give it a really fine apex and also a really nice mirror shine. So I'm looking forward to that. Oreo Dave says, the lighting looks unique. You have a cool side and warm side of your face. Yeah, man, I took notes from another channel. Not another knife channel, just another channel. And I decided to kind of steal the vibe because I like the vibe. I like the blue and the red. Ghana Rise says, Tom Brown, very true. Arizona has an Isham rookie design out now, for example. There's always a new knife coming out. Yes, there is. The one thing that I absolutely love, but it's also kind of exhausting in the knife community, is that there is always something new. We never know what's going to come out. Sometimes we miss on things like drops because we're not aware, or maybe we are aware and we can't buy it. There will always be another knife. There have been several knives that I missed out on in the last couple of years where in my head I was like, that was the one that's going to haunt me forever. And then 6 months later, I move on and there's another cool knife that I have to have. The hard part for me is not selling stuff to make it happen, because I don't want to kill my collection in the process of trying to find new ones. I want to have some knives that I'm okay with trading and with selling and with swapping, and then I want to have my core collection, which is hands off. So that's what I'm working towards right now, is having just 2 groups of knives, so that one of them I can use to liquidate if I need cash right away to get in on a drop, and the other one is ones that I do not and will not sell or give away or swap. So let's go ahead and hop back over here. Speaking of new knives coming out, River's Edge Cutlery, always a good website to check out. If you haven't checked out River's Edge Cutlery, they don't have anything to do with me. This is just a website that I really enjoy browsing. Let's see what they got as far as coming soon. Ooh, they're going to have Brian Brown Raptor in stock soon. Looks like Spyderco Native Salt, Benchmade 290 BK, the full immunity. I always like the look of this knife. It's a small knife, but I really like the look of that blade. It's so kind of a reversed, I won't call it a Wharncliffe because I see a tiny amount of belly on there, but it is more of a reverse Tanto style. Looks like this one's in CPM M4. CPM M4 is so good, except it has like 0 rust resistance. Aside from that, the edge retention is phenomenal. But look at this. The blade length is only 2.5 inches. This would be like a secondary carry for me. I've wanted one of these for a while, but when they first dropped, they sold out. So I could have bought one when they first dropped, but I missed it because they sold out so quick. Second drop, I saw it and I had the opportunity, but didn't have the budget for it. And so who knows? Is there a Benchmade full immunity in my future? I haven't done any Benchmade knives on the channel yet. I might need to change that. What else do we got coming out soon? Looks like the auto immunity and the full immunity. Something that I do think is crazy is that they did the full immunity and then they did a smaller version, which just kills me. Like, it's already small. It doesn't need to get any smaller than that. See, this one, this one's the partial immunity. This one has just shy of a 2-inch blade. And I know that that's going to be useful for some people. Some people just need a knife that, maybe they work a retail job and they need to get into boxes all day long and they only need like that much blade. But 2 inches? Come on. Come on, Benchmade. We want a bigger version, not a smaller version of the already small version. Disappointing. Chavez sale. Look at that. Gosh, I love a good Chavez. If I was to buy one right now, if I was looking to buy a Chavez right now, the one that I'd probably go for would be the Sangre. Sangre? I would want the full titanium though. The black G10 show side just doesn't do it for me on a $258 knife, and neither does the micarta. I'm not a huge fan of Chavez micarta. I had a Redemption Street, and the micarta on it was not great. Like, I've gotten better micarta on $50 knives. I kid you not. All right. Catching up with the chat here. And Tree Stabbing Troy says, never thought of doing the Tonto at a different angle. Makes total sense. Yeah, the reverse Tonto is crazy, man. I actually really like reverse Tonto style blade shapes. They're kind of like Wharncliffes, but they usually have a tiny bit of belly, just a tiny bit. So they're just as easy to sharpen as a Wharncliffe. They're really good for utility cuts. And the reason why channels always mention utility cuts is because most of the time we're using our knives to open up boxes that contain other knives. And so what are you doing? You're doing a utility cut. And so that's one of the reasons why channels always mention it, because it's the most common use, is doing a utility cut. So Warncliffe's great for that. Reverse Tonto is great for that. Sheep's Foot's great for that. A lot of harpoon style blades are great for that. Some of my favorite blade shapes. Drop points can also be good for that. Matthew Russell says, I think the small ones are for the 2-inch blade laws on autos. I think you're right. It doesn't make me any less disappointed. 2 inches. I can't do it. I need something girthier in the hand, okay? I'm not ashamed to say that. Tree Stabbing Troy says, Sangre, Spanish for blood. See? I can be cultured. I'm not very cultured. And the sad thing is I actually do know some Spanish. Yeah, so the Sangre. I would want this, but I'd want this in full titanium. It looks super stabby, but if I remember correctly, yeah, no, this is a bigger size. Almost 6 ounces on the weight. And this is the one with G10. It's not even the full titanium. I bet you this is over 6 ounces for the full titanium. That's nuts. Do they have one? Can you get a full titanium Sangre right now? Nope. Not, at least not from River's Edge Cutlery. But they do have some good deals. We're seeing some 25% off on the 229 Tonto. That's cool. The Redemption Drop Point Custom Shop OD Cerakote G10. Cerakote on G10. This one, 8 inches, M390. Frame lock, of course. Manufactured by Riot. Man, Riot does such a good job on their manufacturing. What about DLT trading? I've been a real big fan of the DLT drops lately. They still have the Spyderco Para 3 and CPM 20 CV. If you're looking for a Para 3, that could be the one. They also have some Chavez knives. They still have the Spartan Blades Harsey, the join or die. I thought these were sold out. Nope, they still have one variant. Nice. Gosh, I'm telling you right now, at some point in time, I will have one of these in my collection. It might not be the join or die. It might be the Plague Doctor. I don't know, but I will have one of these. It's on my list. But every time I go to buy one, there's always something else that I get instead that's like time sensitive. But I'm telling you, I will get a Spartan Blades Harsey. This is one of those classic knife striles and knives and designs that is just so good. A lot of people put this up there with the Chris Reeves knives, with Strider knives, and the quality of the production is just nice. I'm not sure if the join or die is my style personally. I do like that pivot though. That pivot is money. And I do like S45VN. 6 ounces. Full titanium stonewash blade. Good looking knife. Here's the other thing. I'm not a thumb stud guy. I've been slowly turning around. Just ever so slowly. What else they got? The Chavez TAK. Now these are on the smaller side. Ooh, full titanium. I always thought it'd be really fun to get one of these in full tie and then modify it. Could do some like custom titanium anno work. I think that would look pretty sweet. I've seen some where they do that on just the clip and it looks really, really good. M390 good. It is a liner lock, but you know, honestly, I'm okay with that on this specific knife. One of the issues I had with my Redemption Street was that it was super easy to put pressure on the lock bar, and so every so often you go to flick it and your thumb would just ram through that thumb stud and it was uncomfortable. All right, so Tom Brown says, right, bigger version, not smaller. That's what she said. Hungerbird in the house. How's it going, Hungerbird? Says, bro, I can barely do 3 inches. 3.5, 4.5 is where it's at minimum for me. You know what's crazy? It's nuts that you mention that. So, for example, that was bad. For example, this is considered a large knife. This is the Best Tech exploit. To me, this is a knife with a 3.5 inch blade, and it's considered a large knife. To me, this is what I would consider to be a medium-sized knife. I do not consider this to be a large knife, but the world does. That's crazy talk. Like, how on earth? That would mean that this is probably a jumbo 100-pound gorilla. This is a large knife. This is an extra large knife. This is the Viking by Midgard's Messer. Sweet knife. And by the way, they do have, in case you didn't know, they do have the pre-order going on for the V2. Not very many people know this, but you can actually pre-order the V2 Viking if you're looking for a Midgard's Messer, one of the bigger, more overbuilt knives. You can do the pre-order right now. If you're here in the States, go to Midgard's Messer USA on Instagram and just message them and say, hey, I want to pre-order a Viking V2. And you can get this knife, and it will have the limited blue titanium handle scales, which honestly, I kind of wish that they had not done that. I'm not a huge fan of the blue titanium personally. I would have preferred a black ano or maybe another variation of the gray with accented hardware. That would have been my choice on this knife. But if what you're looking for is a Viking, while this version 1 is sold out, and they only did like 200, 250. The version 2 is in pre-order right now, and it's not being well advertised because we're still waiting on their site to come up. But if you message them on Instagram and say, hey, I would like to do a pre-order on the Viking V2, they can hook you up, which is sweet. That's the other pre-order going on right now. And nobody's been talking about it, so I had to mention it. Sharp Guy ATX says, new sub, how do I enter the giveaway? Brother, thank you for the support, and thank you for being a part of the giveaway countdown. Right now, here's how you can enter. First, you have to be at least 18 years or older. You have to have an address I can ship it to here in the US. And after this video, after the live ends, this video of the live will save to the channel. And when that happens, I'm going to need you to leave a comment on the video after it saves to the channel. I'm going to do the official giveaway once we hit the 1,000 subscriber mark in a live stream just like this one. And when that happens, I'll link to this video and you'll have extra time to do it then. So if for some reason you can't see this after that, don't worry. After we hit 1,000 subs, we'll do the video, we'll do the giveaway, and I will link to this video, and you just need to leave a comment. Got to be subscribed, or at least, I hope you would subscribe. We're celebrating subscribers, but make sure you comment on this video after it saves. Tree Stabbing Troy says, I love Midgard. Me too. Great guys over there at Midgard too. I've had a lot of conversations with them, and the original designers in Germany for the Thunrar, for this knife, they reached out to me after I dropped my video on this, and I had an awesome discussion with the guy who designed the Thunrar. Blew me away, just reached out to me on Facebook out of the blue. His name is Ralph Zablinski, and he designs some really, really sweet knives. Not just folders like this, but also fixed blades, and I'm a huge fan. So that was pretty cool. All right, Hungerbird says, agree, good looking out on this pre-order. That's a beauty. Yeah, man. So crazy story time. I was talking with Mike from Midgardsmesser USA the other day on the phone because we were just discussing things like pre-orders and whatnot. He sold his Viking V1. He sold one of these so that he could fund a trip to Germany to actually meet and hang out with the guys from Midgardsmesser headquarters. So he sold this. Remember, this cost $350 brand new, right? And I have people on my videos saying it's not worth that. It's not worth that. He sold his for $1,200. It's nuts. And so with these limited edition knives, even if you're just a collector that wants to get one and then maybe sell it, a couple months down the road as kind of an investment thing, these sell out. The Thunrar, gone, no longer available. Viking V1, gone, no longer available. $350 brand new when they were available, and now you can sell them for over $1,000. But that's how it goes with serialized limited edition knives. And they do a lot of those. So, yeah, this one is 161 out of 200. I'm going to be very sad when I have to send these back to him. He did let me buy this one off of him, though. This one is cool. This one is the Midgardsmesser Thunrar. This is the US version. The only difference between this and the other one is that this one was hand engraved with the US symbol. And it's tiny. You can't really see it. And then it's not out of 200. It's out of 20. So, you can't really see that well. It's out of 20. This one is not getting sold. I will not sell this one. This one goes in my permanent collection. This is my baby. Love this knife. Brent Luna says, about how much for the Viking V2? I believe it's $350. They haven't changed their pricing as far as I'm aware. They haven't told me they've changed their pricing, but expect about $350. But given what they're going for now, the craze, like we're just hearing, a lot of us are just hearing about these now. The Viking V1 launched like 2 years ago and they sold out, and then things quieted down, but the serious collectors remember. And so that's why they demand such a higher price, because now they're coming out with a second version. That one's also going to sell out. The Thunrar was not nearly as popular as the Viking. Sold out. I mean, it blows me away. The moment people find out about these things being available, they sell. And it's not just me who loves chunky knives. I think it's amazing, and I think that if you're a collector and you want to have something that you know is going to be worth something down the road regardless, you got to pick one up, because I guarantee you, at the very least, you could sell it and make a profit down the road, if that's what you want to do. Because once a knife is discontinued and no longer available, the value is whatever the buyer is willing to pay. And when you're a collector, you know how much that is. So, Gone Rise says, get the Strix stat. My man, listen, this Strix is causing me to have a lot of anxiety because I don't know which one I want to get. I know that I'm not going to get the micarta version, but it's either going to be the full titanium or the titanium with carbon fiber, because I do think that carbon fiber looks classy. I love that. That looks great. It's going down November 20th to 25th. There is no limit. But once the pre-order is over, there is no more. Greg Schaub will not be making more of these or getting more production made. He's doing this specifically because he's retiring from the Coast Guard, and this is his way of celebrating, because everybody wants a Strix. Everyone that knows about Sparrow Knife Co. wants a Strix, but they're almost never available in their custom format. And so he's doing this to give people an opportunity to get one that wanted one. There is no limit. The pre-order is going down, and he's estimating 3 to 6 months on the turnaround, which for a pre-order, that's great. So yeah, I definitely want one. I'm gonna have to move some stuff around to make it happen, but Even though it's a production knife, this is also going to be a big one for collectors. So that's very exciting. Best Techman, by the way. If you don't know, Best Techman made my favorite budget knife this year, the Dundee, and they're coming out with a second model. They're coming out with the best. They haven't named it yet. They're actually doing an event right now where you can enter to help name the new Best Techman model. It looks kind of like a Benchmade. It's got it's an axis lock. Can't call it an axis lock, but that's what it is. So I urge everyone that has an Instagram account to actually go and see if you can win this thing. It's the BMKO2, and check that out. Does that not look a bit like a Benchmade? Call a spade, but you can actually help them name it, and if they pick your name, they will send you one for free, which is pretty sweet. Let's see. I suggested the name. Which one is it? I'm trying to find the one. Yes, here we go. They said, have you noticed that the BMKO2 is still waiting for its name? That's because we want it to be named by our fans. Go ahead and name it as you imagine. Once we adopt a name you provide, you will get this as a gift from us, an exclusive. I'll never say no to a free knife, and I'll always take an opportunity to get one. So in this case, I submitted the name Ether. I thought that Ether would be a good name for it. I was just thinking of something that hasn't been done before, because a lot of the suggestions were names that already exist in the knife world. So if you don't follow them on Instagram, go check them out. Suggest a name. Who knows? You could win. That could be fun. Papa Rhino says, micarta Strix, please. Man, so micarta, you know, Rhino, if you like micarta on a premium knife, you should check out this guy. This is another one that I've been carrying a lot lately. This is the Best Tech Loch Ness, and it's a premium knife, titanium frame, titanium hardware, backspacer, but the overlay on the handle skills is micarta, and it's a good micarta. Like, I like micarta. I'm not like a huge micarta fan, but if I had to pick a micarta knife on the daily, this one, designed by Cohen's Craft, it's actually one of their newer models. Really, really good. The action on it is smooth. It is a bigger knife though, so if you have those 2-inch knife laws, this probably won't do the trick for you. This is a bigger boy, but the fuller works good. It's got a thumb stud, which I don't really use, but if you like it, you could as well. Titanium frame lock, titanium backspacer, hardware that makes sense, excellent ergonomics. I really like this knife, and it's not even one that I requested. It's just one that they sent with the last package and said, hey, while you're reviewing the skirmish, review this one too, because I requested the skirmish, and they also wanted me to check out this one while I have them in my care. So I wish this was one that I could keep, because this is sweet. Absolutely killer. Sharp Guy ATX says, I was goofing, but cool. Papa lured me here with breadcrumbs. Nick H says, 3 new subscribers just since you started the live stream. What? Man, if that's true, that means that we're at 920 and we have 80 to go. I'm excited. We might just hit 1,000 subscribers this month. How nuts would that be? I'm over here forecasting December, but you guys are determined. So who knows? We'll see. Brent says, message sent. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, man. You're welcome. Gone Awry thinks I should go for the full tie on the Strix. I'm leaning this way. Listen, there's something about a good full titanium knife. I mean, for crying out loud, I modified a perfectly good Yojimbo 2 to be full titanium, and I have no regrets. Zero. Zilch. Full titanium is awesome. That carbon fiber looks classy, though. Tom Brown says, call it a crossbar lock. You are correct, sir. Yeah, they're starting to be the same name knife by different manufacturers. Well, I mean, there's only so much you can do as far as being original. I mean, if almost every blade shape has been done before. Almost every lock has been done before. It's really, really hard not to be called a copy or a clone because almost everything is. That's why I like knives like this Yojimbo, because I have not seen a Wharncliffe style blade look like the Yojimbo 2 ever. This is nuts. Michael Janich is a madman who likes creating stabby things that look unique, and it's awesome. I can't believe I used to think that Spydercos were ugly as sin, but I did. And it wasn't until I started getting them that I actually really, really started loving all the Spyderco knives. So, full titanium on a Spyderco, I highly suggest it. Papa Rhinos in Kansas says, no knife laws here. Knives fall under constitutional carry in Kansas. Hell yeah. Ain't what it ain't in the house says, I'm typically not into crazy blade shapes, but that Nessie has my wallet quivering a little bit. Man, it's good. It's surprisingly good. And I was one of those that looked at this when it first dropped and I said, what, $300 for my Carta? Because I didn't understand. I didn't fully understand that it's still full titanium. It just has a more comfortable material that's more grippy on the outside. And the lock is still titanium. The frame is still titanium. M390 blade, so good blade still there. Nice fuller Nessmuck style blade. Excellent ergos, and something else too. Excellent balance. Like, it's hard to do on the front facing camera, but man, I can fidget with this thing without looking at it. It has not cut me at all. The balance on here is insanely good. Sharp ATX says, are you old enough to buy those knives, whippersnapper? I think so. I can see over the bar. They let me in. Gonorrhea says, the Benchmade contest is on Instagram. It's not Benchmade. It's Best Techman or Best Tech Man. It is on Instagram. One of their newer posts is where they're teasing their new model, because remember, they're a new company. They're a new sub-brand of Best Tech. And so they only have the Dundee out right now, but they're coming out with their second model. It's going to have the crossbar lock, as Tom so graciously reminded me, it's called a crossbar lock. So it kind of looks like a Benchmade, but it's not. Now, the quality of the production on the Dundee was really good. The detent was amazing. For a sub $50 knife, blew my mind. Extremely good detent. I've got knives that cost way, way more than that don't have detents that good. So I'm expecting a high quality of production on their second one too. We'll see if they can commit to that. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Oreo Dave says, reminder, Spyderco second sale this Saturday. Hey, good shout out. Thanks, Oreo Dave. Ain't what it ain't says, why you gotta try to make it worse? Hey, don't come here. Don't come to the channel if you don't want me to enable you to buy more knives, because that's exactly what I'll do. Papa Rhino says, K-Bar's 50% off sales going on now as well. Sweet. RB23, thoughts on Winter Blade knives? Okay, so here's my thoughts. Winter Blade is one of the most entertaining companies to watch, because Brian from Winter Blade Co. is doing some things that nobody has done before. You know how I just mentioned that it's extremely difficult to do something that other people haven't done? Well, he's doing it. He's doing magnet-driven locks, magnet-driven actions. He's doing stuff without magnets. His blade shapes don't look like other people's blade shapes. His designs don't look like other people's designs. And he's using premium materials and going through premium OEMs. I believe he's using Best Tech for his OEM on the Mirage. Very, very exciting. His knives are crazy, man. Like, he didn't expect as many people to get in on the factor drop as they did, he had to redesign his whole website after that. He had to go with like a new merchant so that would never happen again, because he didn't expect for everything to crash within literally 120 seconds. And for me, it was more like 30 seconds. I was there the second it hit drop time, and I still missed. So I don't know how the system figured out who got what, but it was nuts. And so it's huge because everybody wants something that's different. You know, there's a lot of people in the knife community that are very set in their ways, and they want, you know, a buck 110 with, you know, back lock, and you know what, that's great for them. But there's an even bigger amount of people that are just waiting for designers to come out with something that's fresh. And so Brian from Winter Blade Co. is doing an amazing job of coming out with designs that are fresh. His prototypes, man, they tease me. And I've reached out to him. I said, hey, do you have any prototypes for me? And he said, no, not yet. So we'll see. Maybe once we get down the road a little bit, we'll start to get some prototypes from him on our channel. We'll see. But the drop for this is happening now. I would definitely go and try to get in on that if you can. But I'm waiting on this guy or this guy. That's gonna be really hard for me. Nick H says, best made? In reference to this. But let's watch this again. It's got a backspacer. It's got a good stamp pocket clip. It's got the lock. It's got the lock bar. I mean, it looks good, man. It looks good. I mean, it's your drop point. I'm assuming this is still going to be, I would say this one might be a little more expensive than the Dundee. I'm probably going to say it's going to be somewhere in the $50 to $60 range would be my guess. I love the fact that they have that backspacer on there. Let's normalize backspacers on knives, please. The best Heckman Etherman. Hey, why not? Hey, throw out a name suggestion. Throw out 3. Doesn't cost anything. RB23 says, also waiting for a factor. You want to talk about a knife that broke my heart? It was the factor. The Winter Blade Co. factor broke my heart. Ain't what it ain't says, I tried to get a factor literally the second it dropped, and I feel like I got shafted. Your order is in queue. Please don't refresh. Then everyone got one. Basically said they refreshed. Same thing. Same thing happened to me. I feel you, man. That pain was real. I was salty for quite a while. So what else? What else is new? Let's see. Knives that you can buy. Plenty of Chavez available right now. I have never seen quite so many Chavez knives available in the last couple of years as are available right now. So the time to buy one, if you want one, is now. Yeah, so I'm not seeing anything else that's terribly exciting for DLT drops. What about Blade HQ? And I know that people are not necessarily huge on Blade HQ anymore. I know that for some reason they've kind of fallen out of favor, but they still have a good selection of knives. Let's see what we have coming soon. James Brand Klein, Benchmade Auto Immunity, the Wee Knife Big Banter. It looks like the a Desert Warrior ProTech Les George SBR. Are you man enough to carry a donut version of the ProTech Les George? I don't know if I could do it, man. I like colors on my knives, but I'm not really a big Desert Warrior kind of guy. It always seems like it's a bit of a joke. This one looks cool. And here's the thing: if you're into fixed blades, this might be one to keep an eye out for. The Spyderco Perrin Subway Bowie. Yeah, I like the look of that. You want to talk about knives that don't look like other knives? Yeah, that looks good. If you're into fixed blades, I could definitely see adding some pull the dot loops on here and doing a scout carry or an appendix carry on this. Blade length is just shy of 3 inches, so it's going to be good for your fixed blade conceal carry law areas. For example, here in Denver, I can conceal carry a fixed blade, which is the only way that I will carry a fixed blade, as long as it's under 3.5 inches. So that would work. That's a good looking knife. What is it made out of? LC200N. I like it. Clip point. What does it weigh? Wow. It only weighs 2.3 ounces? What? Damn. FRN handle skills. I'm not a huge fan of Spyderco's FRN handle skills. That's the only thing that I don't like about this so far. It does kill me when they add the Spyderco hole to fixed blades or knives that cannot use it. It's a deployment hole. I get that it's proprietary, but why? Why? What else they got? This one looks cool, and I don't think this is a new model, but I really like the look of this one. It is, in fact, a thumb stud only deployment, frame lock, flame titanium. This is the We Knife Co. high fin frame lock. This is one of those knives that's going to look bigger than it is, because check this out. The overall length is just shy of 7 inches, 3-inch blade, well, 2.98 inches. CPM 20 CV, reverse, they call this a reverse Tonto? Nah, man, this is a harpoon style blade shape discussion. All right. Oreo Dave says, Winter Blade Company is a genius. Yes, sir. Brent Luna says, will the Strix sing like the Factor seem to? I don't know. I've seen a couple videos from other channels like Metal Complex and Neves, and they say good things about it. I haven't heard them mention the acoustics, which, believe it or not, is actually a big deal to a lot of people. It's one of those things that when you hear the ting is, it's money if you're into that kind of thing. I haven't heard it in the videos that were talking about it, so I don't know. Cannot confirm. Papa Rhino says, I agree, Desert Warrior is stupid. Thank you. I'm not trying to crap on any companies or anybody or anybody's opinion. I just personally don't like donut variety looking knives. Some people's thing, that's totally cool. It's not my thing. Oreo Dave says, I love my Desert Warrior Elementum and Mini Boker. Hey, man, like I said, if that's your thing, that's your thing. Papa Rhino says, love the White River M1 Caper for concealed carry fixed blade. I haven't seen that one yet. I might have to check that out. Nick H says, have you checked out any of the petrified fish models? Yes. There's actually more than a few petrified fish models that I'm interested in, and I will go ahead. Of course, I'm interested in a beluga. That is definitely one that I'd be interested in. The beluga is a simple design that looks well executed. And they're not trying to do anything too crazy. One thing that I'm not a huge fan of are these micarta handle scales that are micarta, but they feel like G10. Kizer does one that way, and a lot of people think that it's G10, but it's actually micarta. And the only reason why I don't like it is because when I get micarta, I want it to have that grip and that hand feel like this. I want it to have a bit of cloth feel, man. And so the Kizer style micarta that feels like G10 is not my thing. But that would not stop me from getting this one. And they're not terribly expensive either. The other ones, let me pull it up here. The other ones I like, see if I can find it. Here we go. Is it any surprise that I would like this one? the PF, oh dear, the PF 939, another knife forever relegated to letters and numbers. This one is they call it a hunting knife, but in all honesty, this is just one of those blade shapes that is beautiful. For example, one of the things I love about this Best Tech Skirmish is that blade shape. That and the ironwood handle scales on this are just awesome. But when we look at this, that has a similar type of blade shape. So that blade shape speaks to me. And on top of that, the funny thing is that the G10 on here, so this is G10. The G10 looks more like micarta than their micarta looks like micarta. Isn't that nuts? But this is the one that I would like to get for, well, I'd like to get it for EDC, do a review, and then maybe add it to a giveaway. Who knows? Tom Brown says the ting is the thing, and Gonorrhea says the ting is the bling. Oh man, it's been a long day. Nick H says the Beluga Tanto I have is the blue micarta. Nice. Nick, do you like the micarta handle scales on there, and does it actually feel like micarta, or does it feel like it looks like G10? Let me know. Tom Brown says, I agree about the micarta. I got the Civivi that feels like G10. Oreo Dave says, Papa, it's all about love in here. Knives are like ice cream. You might like vanilla, and I like chocolate. Can't justify or rationalize tastes. So true. When it comes down to the knife community, and I've mentioned this before, but one of my most absolute favorite things is that for a majority of the knife community, we can come together over a vast amount of difference in opinion and still have fun discussing our favorite hobby. That's amazing. Unless you're on Reddit. Reddit is extremely toxic, and people on Reddit love to take the piss out of you, I'll tell you what. I posted a picture. I posted a picture of this on Reddit where I was just like, hey, my office carry today. I had it for like a week, man. I've had this knife for a week. And someone's like, it looks like you haven't carried that very much. Must be an office carry. I'm like, whoa. Like, who hurt you? It's okay. I'm sorry I didn't destroy my knife in a week. Jeez. But people are like that. And I think that a lot of people on Reddit just say things to get a response. So who knows? But I haven't really... Here's the thing. The finish on this Strider is so... They did such a good job on the finish that it's going to be really difficult to show wear on this because the blade is stonewashed over polished, and then the handle scales are bead blasted and then stonewashed, and so it's going to do a really good job of absorbing any dings or snail trails that you put into this thing. So people are just going to think that I don't use this knife for a while because it's not going to show any wear and tear for a while. Nick H says, the micarta from the Petrified Fish is actually pretty good. I'm going to have to give it a shot. Like, you know, in the under $50 range, there's no reason for me not to make it happen with some of these. Tom Brown says, I agree about micarta. I got a Civivi that feels like G10. I love micarta, but it's got to be done right. It's got to feel like micarta. Gonorrhea says, Brent Luna owning a knife that's called the Nessie is worth it either way. The Best Tech Loch Ness has got to be the biggest surprise of a knife that I've checked out this year. Before I got this in hand, if you would ask me if I could believe the price tag on here, I would have said hell no. After getting it in hand and feeling it and carrying it, yeah, I'm not sure about the value proposition yet, but I'll tell you what, I don't have the same opinion that I had before. I really like this knife, and I kind of want one of my own. All right. Brent Luna says, for those of you that like the Nessmuck blade style shape, the Urban EDC Nessie is incredible And Revo Knives makes several budget versions as Revo Nest Flipper. Really? I'm going to have to check this out. I've got too many knives open on my desk, so I got to close some of them before I put my arm down. So here we go. Said it was the Revo Nest Flipper. Yeah, I can see that. Hey, black G10, stonewash blade, textured and grooved handle scales. Yeah, and you know what? That pocket clip looks good too. Liner lock looks like a decent flipper. Is that a backspacer? Are we in backspacer territory? Let's go. No backspacer. Bummer. First, I was getting excited too. I was like, if this knife has a backspacer, it's on. The Revo Nest. D2 blade steel, tip up carry, G10 handle scales, $66. Looks like you can also get it in the copper. The copper is $125. Okay. Yeah, that's a good looking knife. I really like the design on this pocket clip. I'll tell you what, the design on this pocket clip looks like a good iteration of a stamped pocket clip. Of course, you have to get it in hand to know for sure. There have been many knives that looked amazing, and then I got them in hand, and while they were still good, they weren't as good. And then vice versa, knives that I saw and I'm like, I'm not really excited about that. Then I get it in hand, and it's really good. That's the hard part, is that sometimes you just have to take the dive and find out. That's cool, though. All right. Well, guys, we're going on about an hour and 15, so my night is coming to an end. I'm going to end by giving you all the same instructions that I gave at the beginning. So in case you missed it, here they are. In order to qualify for the giveaway, first and foremost, we got to hit 1,000 subscribers. As of right now, let's go ahead and do a check to see where we are. The countdown has begun. So here on my channel right now, we're at 921. We were at 917 when we started, which means that we've gotten 4 new subscribers. Shout out to you if you just subscribed. Welcome to the channel. When we hit 1,000, the very next live stream will be the giveaway. In that time, I'm going to be scrambling to get some extra swag from some extra companies. There will be 3 knives, and of course, everyone that wins will get some stickers. And there might be some winners, aside from the 3 that get knives, that also just get stickers. So I'm going to try to give away as much as I can. I'm also going to be reaching out to companies for some swag, things like, knife lube, pivot lube. I'm going to see if I can get some gunny juice, stickers from other channels. We're going to try to feature as much as possible and give away as much as possible, because this is a huge deal for me, hitting a milestone way earlier than I was supposed to. It feels pretty good, and I want to share that joy with every one of you. So to qualify, have to be at least 18 years old, have to know your local knife laws, have to comment on this video after it uploads. So after the live is done, make sure you come back to the video and just leave a comment. Can leave anything. Please make sure it's appropriate so that YouTube doesn't flag it, but you can say whatever you want. And then I will use Comment Picker on the live stream for the giveaway after we hit 1,000 subscribers to pick a comment from this video. You can comment as many times as you like, but it will only count once. If your name gets pulled more than once, you can win more than once. I'm not here to play the algorithm. So leave as many comments as you like, but it's not going to count duplicate comments. So the likelihood of someone getting picked more than once for the giveaway drawing is going to be very, very slim. There will be 3 knives, 3 different winners. We're going to get some extra stuff to go with the knives. Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you, because you keep me coming back and keep me enjoying making content and talking about knives. And it's the reason why I'm still here. So thank you so much. Make sure you leave a comment after the video. I'll also post a link to this video during the live stream for the giveaway. So, if you miss out on seeing the video upload after the fact, just remember, I'll leave a link in the actual giveaway itself. And I'll be releasing more information on what knives are going to be part of the giveaway when we get closer to that day. Thank you, everybody. Make sure you have an awesome night, and I'll catch you on the flip side.